What have I done? What do you do when you have a perfectly good operating race car? Well, you take it apart, of course. So, winter projects have officially started, as you can see. So I've got the seats out, I've got the steering column out. The plan for this winter is to fix the fuel tank sending unit so that I finally have a working fuel gauge. I mean, it kind of works right now, but it jumps around real bad, so I suspect I might have a bad sending unit. And I gotta figure out which sending unit is bad, since these cars have two. That's cool. My goodness, there's a lot of dust in the air. So that's a project. I am pulling my stock steering wheel off, since it's mint, pretty much, and putting it in storage because I anticipate those things skyrocketing in value, and I kind of feel bad leaving this car like out in the sun when I'm, driving around, and I don't want it to dry the leather out. So I figure I'll put that one away for now, and I have this guy that's going on. And so besides that, and the wheel I will reveal later. I don't have it yet. That's part of the reason, but so that's plan, which means I don't need the airbag computer anymore. I removed that yesterday. I finished pulling the steering column today because we are officially starting on the electric power steering conversion, which I am really excited about. I think that's going to be a absolutely killer mod for this car. So yeah, that's going to be really exciting. Also planning on dynamatting in here because the heat that comes off this tunnel is just insane. From here to here is like a 20-degree difference in the summer after the car is fully warmed up, and it's bad. So gonna fix that and put some dynamat down on the floors up around here just to cut down on noise and heat. I'm going to try to fix my seats. If I don't have any luck fixing the driver's side seat where the bolster's broken, I'm probably just going to replace them. Also, I am rebuilding the bride seat rails because the driver's side seat rail was really gritty. Some kind of grit or sand or something got into the slider, and it feels awful. And then the passenger's side, for some reason, somebody cut it in half. So instead of one big square, it was a rail and a rail, and then two cut off sections to go between. So we're gonna fix those, weld it back into one piece, and then because it was in two pieces, the adjuster bar to slide it back and forth was just gone. So we'll make a new one of those, and yeah, those couple of mods should really improve the drivability of this car. So because the key ignition switch isn't hooked up, I can't turn off the beeping, but it goes away if I do that. So I have been working this evening on my new steering column. So I've showed you guys this before, but here's the electric power steering column conversion stuff. Let's see. So I need to fab a mount for that. And this, you can see I destroyed this surely super rare factory Evo 4 column, because that's what I do. I destroy rare stock Evo parts. And we've got the U-joint section, which of course is bad. So I got to probably end up pulling the Mirage one apart. These are the same, by the way. The Evo 4 steering column and the Mirage steering column, same part. So no worries there. They will be really simple to source. So it's not a huge deal, but so this is a Chevrolet Equinox column, which has the electric power steering, And you've already seen I've got the ePowerSteering.com adjustable kit with the potentiometer, so I can turn it up or down as I want. So this is from the Evo column. There's the other piece of it. The U-joint is somewhere in pieces because of the angle grinder. And so I need to turn this down on my lathe, i.e. just turning it over this while it's running. And that should reduce the size of that down to where this can slip on. And then I need to have this mount done so I can install this motor side in the car. And then I can put this on the rack, put this on the column here, and then kind of slip these together, figure out exactly where holes need to be drilled, and then I'll probably drill 2 holes through these to pin these. And then once it's pinned, we'll weld it. So it'll be one super strong piece, won't have to worry about it coming apart. And then after that's done, we will, and I still don't know if this is going to be down on the bottom or flipped around on top. It seems like it'll be easier to have it on the bottom, but I just want to make sure I've got enough room for my feet to be able to not kick it when I'm shifting. So as long as that works out, which I'm really hoping it will, I'll probably test that here in a moment. This should be just a simple U-bracket. You can see these actually line up pretty well. This is slightly longer if I line these two up, but I can deal with that. Having this longer is better than having it shorter, so perfectly fine with that. And then that should be this whole side done. And actually, I'll be able to use the power steering at that point. The wiring and everything should be here on Saturday. I don't have any 10 gauge laying around, so I had to buy some 10 gauge marine grade / automotive grade wire and a fuse, inline fuse holder. This takes an 80 amp fuse. This is a big boy, 80 amps. That's a lot of power. So hopefully the alternator can keep up. I'm sure it probably can. And yeah, so hopefully this will be installed by this weekend and at least pinned, maybe not welded yet, but I think I can at least have this together and pinned and maybe wired up so that I can turn the wheels back because they're not straight anymore. And yeah, it didn't mess with the alignment, but you know, when you remove a steering column, you should really try to keep the wheels straight because it helps you center the steering wheel properly. And, you know, we didn't do that, so it's fine. But anyway, so after this whole side's done, the this side, which I was anticipating being the easier side, actually this ended up being really simple. So we'll see how difficult this side ends up being. But there's 3 bolts here. Those are just 10 mil. It's really easy because, you know, Imperial stuff on American cars is apparently not a thing anymore, which works for our purposes. So we will remove those, and then this whole thing slides off of the shaft in this motor. So probably what I will do is where this is crimped together, we will cut it off and then just keep this tube section. We'll probably remove this center shaft that's got the female side that accepts the male side of this motor shaft that runs through here. And then we will do something similar to over here where we weld it together, maybe pin it. We'll just have to wait and see how it's assembled. I haven't actually looked at it yet, but it should be fairly easy so that we can adapt all of our factory mounting stuff for our column over onto this. And then yeah, from looking at it with the lower dash panel on, you shouldn't even be able to tell that it's been modified. And yeah, that's the way we like to do things. So I at that point will be able to remove all of my fancy, overly complicated, put way too much money trying to make it work power steering stuff. So I should be able to, as long as, you know, nothing goes epically wrong, remove all the AN lines, the power steering cooler, the AN power steering lines that I made, the STM power steering fluid reservoir, my AN converted power steering pump, my second power steering pump, that's behind the radiator of my Subaru that's done Subaru things. And yeah, I should be able to remove all of that, and I'll probably have that up for sale soon. So yeah, if anybody needs any power steering stuff, it's all OEM Evo 4 stuff. Well, OEM in that it was OEM at one point. Now it's been modified. The pump that's over here is a factory pump. This pump has been kind of modified to accept AN fittings instead. Well, I can show you. You guys have seen it, I think, but we'll just... Yeah. Yeah. There you go. So that flange on top is, we made that, but the pump itself is actually factory. And I don't think... Oh, yeah. The high pressure side is still factory. So, but we'll be able to remove all that crap out of here, and that should really tidy up the engine bay. So instead of parasitic drag for the power steering, we'll have more parasitic drag on the alternator for the electric power steering, and it'll be perfect. But hey, we can turn that off now with a potentiometer, so no drag. But yeah, I'm pretty stoked on it. I think this will really be a pretty killer mod, and yeah, I may end up doing the same thing on my Miata, because I really like how this is turning out. The floor is absolutely covered in metal, but it's fine. I'll clean that up tomorrow. But yeah, really excited about this. So far, this has gone really well. So, Lord willing, it will keep going well, and this will be in there hopefully by the weekend, at least most of it. So yeah, stay tuned, guys. See you next time.